Chief Meinnert.
Thank you all for being here. Last Saturday, Sheriff Hartwig called me immediately upon learning his deputies were responding to investigate a report of skeletal remains found by someone in the town of Two Rivers. With night falling near, the entire area was secured while a variety of resources were gathered to investigate. Ultimately, a forensic anthropologist with the Wisconsin State Crime Laboratories was able to confirm a skull and bones as human remains. On Sunday, my staff assisted the Manitowoc County Sheriff's Office, Department of Justice, Division of Criminal Investigation, and the Wisconsin Crime Lab with recovery of those remains and any associated evidence. The intentions of our team were to first notify family of the discovery and then alert the public. Prior to that, however, reports went out on social media and other platforms, some of which were false and most of which had yet to be confirmed. While we do feel it's important to share information with the public, our first priority is Elijah and the integrity of the investigation, as well as communication with the family. These are the facts that I can share. The remains were found on private property by a person getting his land ready for the hunting season. This land was not on Manitou Girl Scout camp property, but rather a thick wooded area with heavy underbrush, just to the north of Manitou. This location is just over 3 miles northwest of where he originally was reported missing. This area had been searched several times, as had been reported, by law enforcement searches, by private searches, by the landowner, by air, and with various search and rescue teams. Despite all those previous efforts and throughout different conditions and changing seasons, we continued searching and even had continued searches scheduled as early as next week. The remains found by the hunter and recovered by law enforcement were taken to the Wisconsin Crime Lab for DNA testing to identify the person. It is with a heavy heart that I announce to you today those remains were identified as Elijah Vue. With that news and following this briefing, the Amber Alert will be canceled. As soon as Elijah was identified, we notified his family. I ask that you respect them and allow them to grieve. The area where Elijah was located is private property, and we ask that you respect the private property owner and avoid that area. This is not the outcome that we hoped for. The family's devastated, we're devastated, our community's devastated. I never met Elijah, but I watched that 3-year-old boy bring out the best in this community. I can't thank the public and our businesses enough. Thank you, DCI, for continuing to lead this investigation, FBI for their support, and our local, state, and federal law enforcement and fire departments, as well as the numerous neighboring agencies. I'd also like to thank all the churches, schools, all the search and rescue groups, and our residents and the family members. Thank you to all that the various city employees have done. The efforts of all of you and many others help bring conclusion to this phase of the investigation. What started out as a search for a missing boy is now a death investigation. Although we understand your desire for information, we can't share every detail, and we must maintain the integrity of the investigation. We know the family and the community has a lot of questions. This is a process that will take a great deal of time, and we'll do everything we can in this investigation to answer those questions. Going forward, we'll continue to share updates provided from DCI and the Manitowoc County DA. We will receive them, and we will continue to be your sole source of accurate information. Now that we know the location of where Elijah was located, off Christy Bob Lane and Manitou Drive, we ask that anybody with any information, if you haven't previously provided it or you think it may be useful in this investigation, to please contact law enforcement. Again, my assistant chief will provide you with the information on how to do so if you can. And again, thank you all for being here.
Chief, when do we expect